3, 2, 1. Coming up, we have the Cedric Thomas program here on the Brave Sports Network, 91.7 WPRL and WPRL.org. We apologize. Some technical issues here. I am in Denton, Texas, and Cedric Thomas is joining me from his beautiful office on the beautiful campus of Alcorn State University. It's been a while since we tried to make this work, and we've got a couple of glitches that we've got to try to get fixed in the next week or so. So we apologize to everyone, so we're going to jump right into it. Braves head football coach Cedric Thomas joining me. Coach, how you doing, sir?
Oh, I'm blessed. How about yourself, Mr. Charles?
I'm doing pretty well. So, Coach, tough game, obviously, the other day. Had a lot of opportunities against Alabama State and a lot of opportunities to make it happen, but just came up 6 or 7 yards short. Talk about it.
Yeah, guys, man, had a valiant effort. Did a really good job of getting off the mat and using some of the things from the off week, from a getting better standpoint, and they played their tails off, man. Just felt like you said, a couple yards short, and that's a part of it, trying to just right those wrongs of when you're getting people down, just being able to finish. It's got to make a couple stops right there at the end, and offense, got to make the plays when it presents itself, and kicking game gave us a chance, and so you look at the numbers, man. We had opportunity, just didn't accomplish it. But proud of the guys. Mobile was a really good event, and they came out and played their tails off. Just fell short, and that's gonna happen sometime in life. And they got to get off the mat and get ready for a really good Texas Southern ball club that's coming in there that got 2 up on us in the last 2 years.
We will be taking calls here tonight because of the short time frame. Lady Braves basketball will start in about less than an hour. The pregame, the Lady Braves will be taking on North Texas at 6:30. So I'm right next door to the court, and so it's 6 o'clock, and we'll go right until 6 o'clock. We will have Lady Braves basketball. We'll pick up where we left off next week. So general questions about the football team, we'll definitely have questions for you next week as we get ready for the big game at Prairie View. All right, so Coach, let's talk about this game, and let's go right into it. I want to ask you about the coin toss to start here, Coach. We won the toss and deferred. What goes into your thinking when you win the toss, and whether or not you want to accept the football or defer? What goes in your mindset? Is it a week-to-week thing, or is it something that you want to defer every time you win the coin toss?
Every time we want to play defense. We want the ball in the second half. That's who I've been. Ever since I've been a coach, when even when the head coach, when I was a coordinator, asked me, I want the defense to set the tone early, see if we can, gain the field position, but also just kind of get those guys ready to go, but more so just want the ball in the second half.
All right, so Coach, you deferred to the second half. So let's look at some of the action as we fast forward the action to 11:07 left in the first half. Alabama State got the football at our 48-yard line, and Coach, obviously the plays mattered, but I thought field position mattered. I counted 7 drives that Alabama State started, I would say, plus their 35 on up to midfield, and even some drives started on our side of the 50. How important was field position in this game, knowing that defensively we were locked in, they were locked in, and we said it last week, this is going to be a field position type of game. But Alabama State had kind of a shorter field than what we had, at least in my opinion. Did you kind of feel that way?
No, I really didn't. The field position for me really didn't matter much because I knew they, because of style of play, it wasn't going to be a whole lot of points. And even when you look at the final score, they scored the same amount of touchdowns that we scored. And so we knew, from a special team standpoint, their kicker wasn't as good. And so I really wasn't worried about the field position more so than I was just making sure we stopped the run and giving our offense a chance to score and score some points versus a really good defense. So, no, I really didn't. That wasn't a game that I came into this week thinking that, we got to win the field position battle.
All right, so as we fast forward the action to 11:07 left in the first quarter on a 4th down and 5, Alabama State had a 38-yard attempt by Gilliam. He missed it, so we were able to dodge that. And as we move forward, Coach, to deep into this first quarter, 5:15 left in the first, on a 4th down and 16 play, as Alabama State got the football. Tuck's punt of 33 yards. It was fumbled, but we were able to get the football with 50 seconds left. Ball security, turnovers, that was kind of the story in this football game. Talk about that aspect of it.
Yeah, that was it. You know, Zay get banged up on the third play. Safety blitz, guard don't ID him, took a rib shot. And I just wanted to player safety is my first and foremost thing in all of it. So just wanted to make sure that he was healthy. And so Trey got a chance to get in there and just made some bonehead mistakes. Not really worried about the deep ball on the pick. He got to get that ball outside, but Tyron also got to help him and get that ball down. But on the pick six, he got to throw that ball away. He got to take the sack, and that was uncharacteristic of him throwing that football to a really stingy defense that got their second pick six, in 2 weeks. And so, ball security is everything, and that to me was one of the pivotal points of the game, just from a turnover standpoint.
Well, it was a scoreless game going into the second quarter. So scoreless after the first 15 minutes, and we get the football with 11:40 left. And you talked about Xavier Vaughn. He was going to get the start, and he did. But then you started Trey Lawrence in the second quarter with 11:40 left in the second. We got the ball at our 16-yard line. Talk about the decision, Coach, obviously, to put Trey Lawrence into the game at that point in time, 11:40 left in the second quarter.
Yeah, just like I just mentioned, Zay was banged up. Took a really good rib shot on the third play of the game. I think on that third down play on the safety blitz and kind of banged him up. And so, I think he might have got a series after that, or that might have been it. But just wanted to make sure he was, healthy. And giving him a chance to play at his best. And I know he wanted to suck it up. But I made the decision just to make sure that he had all his bearings about him. Going against a really tough defense and has confidence in Trey. And so that was the reason why Trey got a chance to get in there. And, for a minute, he put the ball in and control the offense until, he made that, just that one bonehead critical mistake on the pick six.
So it wasn't as much, Coach, about maybe Vaughn not being able to move the team. There was a health concern there in taking that shot.
Yeah, yep, uh-huh.
All right, so 11:40 left. It was a 4th down and 5, Coach. We were able to move the football, and Trey Lawrence and his team was able to move the football. 4th and 5 from the 25-yard line of Alabama State. You had an opportunity, Coach, to get the points, a 42-yard field goal attempt, but you passed that up on a 4th down play. It was a pick six for a touchdown. Talk about the decision to go for it instead of taking the points.
Yeah, we wanted to, be aggressive. We knew that points was going to be few and far between just from just the field position standpoint, like we talked about earlier. But we knew defensively we can hold. Didn't think these guys was explosive, from a pass game standpoint. And so, we wanted to be aggressive and thought we had a look that we could exploit, and things just didn't work out that way, And so when I talk to Keanu, he normally gives me the distance just like he did, just far as, what he's comfortable with. But once I took that in my thought process, I just figured, hey, look, let's be aggressive. Let's try to, get 7 points, instead of just a field goal.
So talk about, Coach, that pick six there, 90-yard pick six. It's a convoy there. Do we have an opportunity for what you saw on film to kind of get him out of bounds?
Sewell made a valiant effort, man. He really just, strained and, tried to get him out. But when the way the route concept had all the wide outs to a certain side, and those guys kind of got caravanned out, and then they had the D line going that way with a lot of speed on the field, and they basically just escorted him into the end zone. So the guys, first thing I wanted to look at was guys, with maximum effort trying to get him out, and those guys was running and trying to make it happen. But just the way the ball was thrown and the way the DB undercut it, it was no way for those guys to really just get him to the turf. And you could see Sewell at the last minute try to clip him. And just one of those unfortunate plays by an older guy who just got to make a better decision with the football.
So, Coach, it was 7-0 at that point. As we fast forward to the second quarter, 3:20 left, we put together a pretty nice drive at our own 10-yard line. And we were able to move the football and Truck Griffin from 1 yard out. That was a 90-yard drive in 14 plays. Just talk about that particular drive to be able to tie the game up.
Yeah, just talking to Gales and just the offensive staff, we wanted to go fast. I feel like that's what we more efficient, and the most efficient, when we go fast. And that was a prime example of what it should look like and will continue to look like. We got to press the issue. We got to, continue to get in shape up front to be able to set that ball and create mismatches. But when we're going fast, just like we talked about last week, good things happen. And that's what you saw. Those guys was methodical and made really good decisions with the football. And then we just kind of punched it in at the end.
So 7-7, coach, at the half. Talk about the first, 30 minutes, some turnovers back and forth. Our defense doing a pretty good job against this Alabama State offense. Talk about the first 30 minutes when it was 7-7.
Yeah, it was 0-0 for us. We felt like, we had opportunity. Besides the pick six, we gave them that, that we should be winning the ball game. And so we just wanted to come out and continue to just dominate on the defensive side and just control the football and not turn it over on the offensive side. And we knew we did that, we'd have opportunity at the end to come out and be victorious.
So 7-7 at the half. Xavier Vaughn got the start in the second half, coach. Obviously, it sounds like he felt like he could go and make some things happen despite taking a shot in the first half.
Yeah, and then Rod the trainer, he has all the medical deals have to go through him. He gave me the okay based on his evaluation to make sure that we wasn't putting him in harm's way. And so once I got that, from Rod and I talked to Vaughn personally, then it was my decision to say, hey, let's go. Let's see, can we go, win this thing, and that's what happened.
So 7-7. Third quarter, Xavier Vaughn getting the start, and he moved his team down the field, coach, on a 4th and 5. Field goal from Kiani, and we're up 10-7. So a nice way to start the third quarter.
Yep, that's one of them things about the opening comment. Like, we really want to get that ball the second half to make sure, whatever adjustments that defense is going to give us, we'll get a chance to see them early because that's when most defenses come out, that second half to make what necessary adjustments. And I thought we did a really good job, making the adjustments not only offensively, but seeing what they did. That's a really savvy defensive group over there. And for us to drive that football and get points, that was a really good job of them being able to make that happen.
So we had the momentum. Alabama State got the football with 5:22 left in the third, forced a 3 and out. And then it was on sportsmanlike conduct on a particular fumble. Let me correct that. It was on 3 plays, and Kirkendall run up the middle for 12, a fumble recovered by the Braves. But then an unsportsmanlike conduct penalty, coach. You've talked about it for the last month. Any unsportsmanlike conduct penalty will result in you not playing the rest of the game. Just talk about that particular play, celebration. What did you think about that particular play?
Yeah, he didn't do it. The ref said that it was a slash at the throat, and when you go watch the film clearly, and we got the one thing about the iPad, the eye in the sky don't lie. So, when I got a chance to look at it, he didn't do it. He didn't make that gesture to the sideline. The referee that actually made that call was actually at the player's back. And so, that call was null and void from that standpoint. And it's unfortunate, very unfortunate that not only talking just in general, I got a kid to get spit on. It's diseases, with open sores and turf burns out there. And one of my players gets spit on. And the refs identify that he has been spit on, but says, Coach, we can't make that call because we don't know who did it. I've never been spit on before, Mr. Charles, but I can tell you as I walk this universe, ain't no man, woman, or human gonna spit on me and I not retaliate. And so for them young brothers, man, to have the wherewithal for that to happen to them, and for them not to retaliate, but look at the refs with disdain because they're not helping them, and so that's an unfortunate situation for a young student athlete to be spit on, and a ref say, yeah, we saw it, but we don't know who did it, so we're not gonna make the call. I just thought that was really unfortunate, and so I looked at the actual play when they call that call on Kale, but he didn't do it, and so therefore, I'm not gonna penalize these young kids for things that they didn't do, and it's just so unfortunate. So that didn't happen.
That's a good explanation, Coach, because from upstairs you just assumed the worst, like that was done, and you know what the rule is on that from your perspective, your rule on it. So it was a good explanation of it because we clearly didn't see that, and we didn't know any of that stuff was taking place down there.
And I'm glad we got the cameras on field to be able to do it because we're not gonna we're not going to be a disciplined football, undisciplined football team. You know, we're not going to do that. That ain't what we coach. That ain't what we teaching, and that ain't what we living. But for a young man, 18, 19, 20 year old to be spit on, and the guys that's supposed to be protecting them tell them, I know you've been spit on, but I'm not going to throw a flag or penalize anybody because I don't know where it come from. That's disheartening. There's diseases with open sores. You got turf burns. You got open sores out there with student athletes, and someone spits on them, and then you say, "Well, I'm not because I don't know where it come from." Mr. Charles, I'm just telling you, if it happened to me, then I probably won't be employed. And so you got to, and my mind is developed enough to make conflict resolution skills a whole lot better. But these 18, 19-year-old brains, you know, that's different. But it's more so they're sad that the refs won't protect them. And so when I looked at the iPad, I watched Kale. You know, he did not make a gesture of a slit of a throat. And so therefore, I let him stay in the game, and I couldn't penalize him.
So unfortunate right there, even though the penalty took place. And man, just got to continue with that as far as the officiating is concerned. Let's move forward, Coach. As we go to 2:45 left, we were up 10-7. 2:45 left in the third quarter. A drive that started at our 45, and it resulted in a touchdown as Alabama State's Kareem King to Horn for 43 yards to put Alabama State up. Talk about that play.
Yeah, you know, every summer raw one of our seniors who just been, you know, steady out there, you know, he makes a bad decision, you know, peeking in the backfield, get a wrong read, and the guy run right past him. You know, that's really unfortunate for us because he's one of the better guys out there and the older guy. You know, we're looking at an offense that's struggling, Mr. Charles, that can't run the football. So we're telling them just stay back, keep it in front of them. You know, we got them right where we want just from, you know, the run game standpoint, you know, and then you got a kid that don't throw it as well. But, you know, he didn't just stick with the game plan and looked inside, and the guy got behind him, and he gave up just an unfortunate 6 points. But like I told those guys, you know, it's 2 or 3 plays in that game that, you know, when you see them crying after the game, you know, we're saying you can't get them back. And that's the same thing is going to be in life. You can't get some of these decision making back. You got to take care of those things when it actually happened. And we didn't do that.
So it was 14-10 at the end of the third quarter. Good fourth quarter coming up as we'll talk about it. We're here with Braves head football coach Cedric Thomas on an abbreviated edition of the Cedric Thomas Show. We'll take it to right to the top of the hour. Again, we apologize for it. We'll try to get in as much information as we can. Don't forget Lady Braves basketball here on the Braves Sports Network at 6:15, right next door to the court here in Denton, home of North Texas State. Lady Braves open up the season at 6:30, pregame at 6:15. So it's 14-10, coaches. We get ready for the fourth quarter. Now I want to ask you about the sideline interference calls. We got a couple of them, and the officials talk about that in August. And you see it, and how consequential is it? Because in the fourth quarter, Alabama State got the ball with 14:54 left, and on a 4th down and 10, Harrison took a punt blocked, and we had 3 guys on it. That should have been a convoy for a touchdown, but we got the football. But sideline interference, a couple of those penalties on us on Saturday. What's the explanation there, and what can we do to prevent that going forward?
Nope. The offense, Mr. Charles, once they see we maintain the football, the offense get ready to set the huddle to go out on the field. Nobody bumped the ref. The ref tripped. The kids laughed. Nobody is there. But when the offense sees the ball recovered by us, they get ready to set the huddle to go on the field. So that's why they there. But when he look and he see the offense on the field getting ready to set the huddle, then we're on the field. That's the call. That's the call. We got it on tape. Nobody touched the ref. He has a clear runway. He kind of trips and stumbles. The kids laugh. The offense is setting the huddle. We want to go out there. They see that we got the ball. Why would we wait, recover the football, and then get the huddle together? We got the offense up, ready to get on the field. But then we got 2 minutes, you know, we're on the field. And so that was the call.
No comment on that. But we got the football. Because the good thing is we got the pump block. We had 3 guys that was right there around that football. That could have been a trio. Any one of 3 players that could have scooped and scored that one. That was an easy scoop and score, but we got the football. Talk about that.
Yeah, it was good. You know, that's one of them components that we talked about, you know, Coach Welch and this team, you know, just growing in that component, just getting better, you know, week to week from a special team standpoint. And that was really good. You know, he schemed them up really well. It's a really tough football game versus a really good, coach football team. And so to get that and give our offense opportunity to be successful, that was really really good. And Coach Welch, he's been doing a really good job being consistent, just from a special team aspect.
So we were able to take advantage of that, Coach. After that, 12:29 left. We got the football at Alabama State's 22-yard line, and Anthony Williams from 17 yards out, Coach. A good way to capitalize on that, and we grabbed the lead 17-14 with 11:53 left in the fourth.
Yeah, really good outside zone play. Been just trying to get involved, and he's doing things right. And so, like I told him, you continue to do things the right way, you'll continue to be rewarded by, coming outside, having recess and running the football. And then just so proud of him for, taking that lead and, getting that ball in the end zone.
So the Braves with a 17-14 lead, 11:53 left. Alabama State's 6 seconds later, 11:47 left in the football game. Got it at the 27-yard line. 4th and 1 at our 19-yard line. Cedric Thomas taking a timeout to kind of assess the situation. You took a timeout. And then on 4th and 1 out of the shotgun, Marcus Harris around the right side. I think everyone assumed it was going to be a sneak up the middle. Took it around the right side, 19 yards. Talk about what you thought would happen and how that happened.
Yeah, that was a really good call, man. This game is, shout out to that staff, because when you look at the tape, it's almost 95% quarterback sneak when he goes under the center. So that's why when you see, after I call the timeout, to see the formation and the personnel, when that guy got under center, you see us compress down, trying to play the quarterback sneak, and hell of a play call. Them guys, went power outside. We didn't have enough on the edge because those guys, the high percentage rate of quarterback sneak was there, and just really good play call, and they got us on that one. Shout out to Coach and his staff, man. He did a really good job with that play call.
So it was 21-17, 7:44 left, Coach. Still a lot of football left. The way we've been moving the football, on a 4th and 8, we were forced to punt. We were on a 3rd and 13 from our own 13-yard line. Couldn't get anything out of that drive. And then Alabama State with 6:12 left got the football. Could not do anything with it there. And then we get the football with 4:33 left in the fourth quarter. And I was talking about it during the broadcast. I know in practice you set the football down. 4:33 left in the fourth quarter. You got 1 timeout, 2 timeouts. Let's see what we can do with it. So what was your mindset? Our 22, 4:33 left, down 4. Talk a little about that.
Yeah, that scenarios we do, weekly. I knew we was gonna score. I thought we was gonna score the football. Just bad read, by Trey. They blitz us, and he misses the wide out, backside on the slant. He's wide open and just got a wrong read, and that kind of derailed that drive right off, on the sack. It just put us back so far, and so it was just trying to come up out that hole, man. After that sack, that was unfortunate, just a bad read and, bad timing. And they did a really good job of giving us a concept to force us into a bad situation on first down.
And then on a fourth down and 29 at our 36, you tried to pick up the first down, a deep ball for Ty Warren. I think it seemed like he got it off a lot quicker than he wanted to because Bama State was bringing pressure.
Yeah, he did. Yeah. Just, the starting right tackle goes out. We playing with Jackson Pickett, a true freshman. And, he just let the D in. Them guys did a really good job, and they really good defense. And we talked about that last week. Them defensive ends just kind of beat him around the edge and made Trey get away with it, get it out a lot quicker than he wanted to.
All right, so we turn it over there on down to Alabama State with 1:28 left, gets the football. And, Coach, we're able to get the football back with 1 minute left in the game at our own 16-yard line. A heck of a job in just trying to get your hands on the football to get one more shot at it.
Yeah, and I didn't want to. We could have had more, Mr. Charles, if I don't have to burn the time out, on that 4th and 1 play. That's the one from a strategy standpoint. I kind of felt bad about, especially with them after the timeout scoring anyway. So I'm saying if I could have kept that timeout, we might have had a little bit more time. And I always want to try to keep those timeouts, close to the vest going into the fourth. But we only had 2. And so it was just fortunate, we did get opportunity to get the ball back to the offense with some time.
Yeah, we were able to get it back at a third down and 5. Damian Jones with a first down, a run to continue a drive, and then T. Adams for 18 yards. And then it got down to a fourth down and 4 at midfield. And I talked about it during the broadcast. I was thinking about the Redskins and the Bears and Jalen Daniels and the Hail Mary. Some other folks on social media talking about it. Someone sent me a text, said they were thinking the same thing. And just talk about that one last shot that we had.
You know, that's our Big Ben play. We do that on every Thursday. You know, the end practice. We do it from a defensive standpoint and an offensive standpoint. And man, you know, had time. Got to get a little bit more on it. You know, got to get it out there a little bit farther. And then when you see truck come down with the catch and just see, you know, he's not in the end zone, your heart just goes out, you know, for the kids, man, because they laid it on the line and did everything, you know, in their power to get themselves a chance to win. But you know, it just fell short. In life, sometimes, man, you're gonna do some things, you know, that's gonna get you in that situation. But you gotta understand what got you into that situation and being able to get yourself out. And that was costly turnovers, you know, and then just big plays, a couple big plays defensively, man, put us in a situation where we weren't celebrating like they were when it was over.
Tough loss for the Braves, 21-17. Coach, what jumps off the page for me is 82 plays. 82 plays in the football game. That's what did it for me. Just talk a little bit about that aspect of it. 82 plays in the football game.
You know, that's and I you know, been talking to Gales and just the offensive guys. You know, you know how we felt about that Southern game. We just, you know, that was the one that hurt to me. You know, it for me it hurt more than this one, because I know we could have a better output. You know, offensively. You know, we got to go fast. You know, we got to be able to take our shots. You see everything that we talked about since we've been doing a radio show. Tyron get a couple deep shots. We go fast. We get the ball on the perimeter with some screens. We run the football. You know, and so in defense, you know, stop the run, and special team, you know, make game changing plays. And so we did all that and still come out, you know, not scoring as many points than the other team. You know, that's disheartening. But offensively, with those 82 plays, that's what we got to do. We don't have the luxury of throwing it up to, you know, Malik and 14 or turning around and giving it to Javion, you know, like, you know, in the past. And so we got to be methodical with the guys that we got, you know, and take what we get. And we can, you know, continue to build on those 75 to 80 plays a game, and then just scoring points.
Tough loss for the Braves, 21-17. Coach, defensively, you know, how would you grade the defense led by Stamarian Edwards with 10 tackles, Jeffrey McKelton with 6, Malachi Bailey with 5, Wallace Melton with 4? How would you grade the defense in this game? I knew it was going to be a low-scoring game, and you said in the preview, bring your hard hat. It's going to be that type of game. And it was a physical football game, low scoring. That's not a surprise. But defensively, talk about how your D held up.
C plus, you know, C plus, Mr. Charles. We know what the standard is here. We know what the standard has been. But Ed can't get that play up. You know, he can't get that touchdown up for 50 yards to a guy that's not known for throwing the football. You know, we don't need that. Let's stay back. Let's make them be methodical and do something they don't love to do. And we pride ourselves on the mental part of it. And he had a mental lapse. And the play that we didn't talk about was Jeff. Also, it's 4th and 8. You know, on that scoring drive to get them to 4th and 1 on the touchdown, Mr. Charles, it's 4th and 8. They give us a double move and Jeff bites on it and the guy runs behind him on the big play right before that, you know, touchdown on the 4th and 1 play. And so those guys just got to stay back, let the defense work for them, understand that, you know, this offense is struggling throwing the football. So just feather back, you know, go back and catch punts and give yourselves the opportunity to be successful. So it was definitely 2 or 3 plays out there defensively that they could have canceled this game out. And also the same thing offensively. You know, if Tyron make that catch in the end zone, Mr. Charles, we don't have you know, Coach Gales can't call a better play. You know, we got one of our better wideouts in the end zone wide open, and he drops the football, you know, and just to see the tears of that young man after the game says, you know, we got the program going in the right direction. You know, it means something to him. And so we'll continue to, you know, work on it, continue to get better. But that's who we got to be on all 3 phases. And we know, you know, the outcome of consistently being our favor if we continue to do what we did on Saturday.
Tough loss for Alcorn as they fall by 4. And now definitely behind the 8 ball in terms of the Western Division's standings. We lost the game to Southern University because Southern University won their game against Alabama A&M. So got a lot of work to do, and it starts this week against Texas Southern. All right, Coach. So let's get to the text questions here. One question, Coach Thomas. I really appreciate all the hard work that you and your staff are investing in the program. Thank you for your continued going forward and rolling forward. The question is, Tyler Macon. What happened to Tyler Macon? He usually creates a spark when he's on the field. Talk about Mako.
Yeah, he was hurt, man. That really hurt us too because we could have helped us. He hurt us growing, in practice, and so, we wanted him to, have that emotional support, to be there and travel with us, but he just couldn't. He couldn't go. Talked to him yesterday, at our walkthrough and stretch, and he said he feel better, and he definitely be out there on Saturday.
Yeah, Mako definitely does make some things happen. Another question from Andre Young. Coach, I know that you can't say anything. You talked about the officials, but of course, Andre Young has an opinion. Officiating was bad. If this was the crew that called the Grambling Texas Southern game, I can understand why Mickey Joseph was critical. Bama State had 4 penalties. 3 of them were offsetting. Talk a little bit about that aspect of it.
Mr. Charles, and to everybody, my whole thing, and it ain't gonna change whether I'm here or not, is being a servant to these young brothers. And as a leader, I've been in a lot of situations that they have been in. But to watch a 18, 19, 20-year-old young adult get spit on, and you and the superiors, the person that's supposed to be protecting them, says, Coach, we saw it, but we can't throw a flag because we don't know who did it. I don't know. I'm open for suggestions. Guys that know me, you got my phone number. Come see me. I definitely need help with that one from a leadership standpoint because I got to look them in the face, and I'm the protector now, and I don't know what to tell them because I'm saying at my age, if somebody spit on me, Mr. Charles, there's going to be an issue. There's going to be a problem. And here you got student athlete with turf burns, with open sores, and all this hepatitis, different things that you can get, and the people who supposed to police them tell them I can't penalize the other team because I don't know who did it. It's so disheartening. And I've been saying it. I know it's been some egregious things that we've done from a celebration standpoint, but you hadn't been seeing us fighting. You ain't seeing us out there acting belligerent. And I just think it's so unfortunate that for whatever reason, it seems like we're labeled as a bunch of banshees that just run around, and that's so not the case. And so, I'm here to I'm critical when they do wrong, but I also got to stand up for them when they're doing right. So, Andre, I know it's a lot of other things we got to fix inside that program, but one thing that we're not is an undisciplined ball club. So I appreciate you seeing that. And so I'm gonna talk to Mr. Kelly tomorrow, the head of the officials, and just try to see can we streamline this thing to make sure that it's not anything personal or anything that I'm doing or these young brothers doing to warrant them to be penalized the way they are.
Yeah, that's a real tough deal, and I appreciate the question. Another on the text line: will Trey Lawrence play Saturday?
We gonna if right now we got to see what's the status of Vaughn, and he may get opportunity. It's Trey and Rod now. If Vaughn can't go, then we got to bring Rod up. He has to be that second or third guy, depending on what's Vaughn's status. And if Vaughn can go and he's healthy, he'll lead us. And and Trey, if something happened to Vaughn and Vaughn, can't get us done or get us through, we'll definitely, Trey and Rod will be the guys up.
Well, Coach, coming up, we've got Texas Southern University coming up, and it's glad to be home. It's been a month since we played at home. It was homecoming. It was, the 5th of October, and we are back in the friendly confines of Jack Spinks Marino Castle Stadium, and you're taking on a Texas Southern team that if they make, 2 or 3 more plays, they could be in the hunt of this Western Division race. Lost a high-scoring tilt at Florida A&M. So what do you expect from Texas Southern as coach as they are coming into Jack Spinks Marino Castle Stadium?
A team that think they own us. They beat us for homecoming. And I think stop the home streak. They beat us there. To hurt our chances this time last year from going and winning the championship. So it's going to be a hungry team. They got a new staff, but the personnel is still there. Quarterback's still there, so those guys won't be afraid. And so we got to play another tough, hard nosed team, and that's what this West is about. Any Saturday, You watch Gremlin and Bethune, man. Who would ever thought? Every Saturday you gotta scrap it up. You gotta be ready to play, and that's what I told the guys on yesterday. It's 24-hour rule. You enjoy it when you win, and you let it go when you lose. So it's a good physical ball club that's gonna come here that's 2 years up on us, and it's gonna be personal. We got to stop the streak. It's things that I feel like as a head coach of some teams in this program. I mean, on this on this side that we shouldn't lose to. And I know coach is doing a really good job, but we got to make sure that we continue to build a foundation to where teams of such can't have our number consistently. So I'm challenging everybody in the building to put their best foot forward to make sure we stop this 2-game streak that they have on us.
There was a text question that just came in, Coach, from John Davis. Coach, why wasn't any misdirection plays called? Why didn't you stack the box when you knew that they didn't have a quarterback that could really sling it?
Yeah, so it's the questions like that be confusing to me, because if you watch the game, and I love talking about football, especially us, you would see that there was a lot of misdirections. Vaughn we had if you know what a counter play is, he has a counter play that he pulled and he got the long run. That's a misdirection. A counter is a misdirection plays. When we got the ball rolling on one of those drives, there was a bunch of misdirection plays because they were screaming so hard and fast at the design play that we was doing. So we had to run counters. And so, we did run counters. And we held this team to less than 100-yard rushing. We stacked the box. I mean, they got us on the long run. You take the 19-yard away, Mr. Charles, they don't have 50 yards, rushing. And so we did all that. We gave up 2 critical plays in the pass game, and we didn't give up. They scored the same amount of points that we scored. They scored 2 touchdowns. We scored 2 touchdowns, and we lost. And so, that question was just not a question of, I feel like a person who really paid attention to the football game.
Well, when you look at where we are, Coach, in terms of the standings, I mean, this time last year, we were right in the front of the Western Division. Obviously, now we got 3 games to play, and we are now 2 games out of first place. We got to finish ahead of the Southern Jaguars. Southern comes home for a couple. Pine Bluff and Bethune-Cookman, the Bayou Classic. We go on the road, and then we're home for 2. Texas Southern this week, the last game against Jackson State. Just talk about getting things back on track and just trying to finish this thing out strong. Because typically this time of year, Coach, we're kind of right in the thick of the race. But right now, we're way behind the 8 ball. Just trying to get back on track and trying to get a win here as Texas Southern and Coach Dishman's team rolls into town.
Yeah, we can't worry about championship right now. We gotta worry about being consistent and getting a win. All that'll take care of itself. And last year, yep. That team, is not this team. It's 2 different teams. When you look at last year and this year. And so we just got to play winning football. And like I told the guys, they playing well enough and giving everything they got. They just need to win. Now, they just need to feel what that feels like again, because they're doing a lot of the things that's right. And, it's just some new guys here. A lot of guys after 2020, it ain't a whole lot of guys that's still on the roster that before that know about that championship day of 1918. They know about 6-5, 7-4, and now whatever this year end up being. And so we just got to play good football, and the standards will take care of the standards. We got to play our brand of football that's going to be sound, and those guys got to go out and continue to work on Wednesday so they can get that bad taste out their mouth, to make sure that they're giving themselves a chance to have a winning season.
Coach, these games are tough. I tell you, it's tough. It's brutal. It's difficult. It's just hard to comprehend, that here we are at that point in the season. It's hard to see where we are, but you got to pick yourself up and try to figure things out these last 3 weeks of the season, because that's important. Good teams finish strong regardless, and we can start with that on Saturday.
Yeah, that's life, Mr. Charles. I'm a grind and work until they get me up out of here, man, because that's what life's gonna do. So the W's and L's won't define me or this team that we're associated with. And I know there's a lot of time, a lot of places you get paid for winning and losing. But I'm not gonna cut the corners, and I'm not gonna jeopardize this program for wins and losses and not do it the right way. And then these young brothers leave and get out in society and they got championship ring, but they can't function because we let them pass and cut corners because The most important thing was winning the football game. And so it's a lot of things in the house that we got to clean up from a player standpoint that make sure they putting their best foot forward to understand how we're gonna run this program and things we're gonna do the right way. And so, starting Wednesday, we'll get right back at it, Mr. Charles, and get a valiant effort. And they just need to feel that winning feeling again because they did what they should, but it's 3-4 plays here and there from Saturday that if we make or we don't give up, we're not feeling like this. And so that's what I told them. But sometime life you're gonna do things a certain way, and you might not reap the benefits at that time, but you will, going forward. So it's all a learning experience as we go with this new team. This is not all corn of old. This ain't 18, 17, 19. This is 2024. And these young brothers are working their tails off and trying to get back to establish that tradition of what the place has been over the years.
Well, Coach Thomas, we really appreciate it. Again, apologize to everyone, including you, Coach Thomas. Had some technical issues, and I want to really thank Cedric Tillman, our producer on the video side. You don't see him, but he really made this thing happen to get us to this point where we can bring this thing to you, even in a shortened version. And we'll work on the kinks and the quirks, and we'll have a full deal for you next week. I'll be in New Orleans. I guarantee you we'll get this worked out for sure. But we appreciate it, Coach, and a lot of good stuff, and looking forward to getting back in the win column.
Anytime, Mr. Charles, and that's what we're gonna do. So anytime we got it on, I want to talk. We ain't running from it. They need to know, and they will know. And so we'll go out on Wednesday, like I said, and hit the ground running. And so we got to get this bad taste out of our mouth, and it'll start once we get to practice.
All right, Coach. We appreciate it, and we'll talk to you next week.
Yes, sir.
All right, that's Braves head football coach Cedric Thomas. I'm headed to the court. Lady Brave basketball coming up in 15 minutes from right now and counting. I got to hustle as we get ready for Lady Braves basketball here in Denton, North Texas State. Lady Braves open up the season at the bottom of the hour. Pre-game show coming up for many of you on the Braves Sports Network. For the coach, Cedric Tillman. Good job, Cedric. Appreciate it. I'm Charles Edmond. We appreciate everybody. Appreciate the coach. We'll talk to you in a few minutes. Lady Braves basketball here on the Braves Sports Network. So long.